It was supposed to be a normal trip, just a few hours on a Greyhound bus from Spokane to Seattle to visit my sister. Nothing special, nothing dangerous. I remember the cold breeze that morning, the kind that bites through your jacket and nestles into your bones. I remember the way the sky was a dull gray, almost like it knew something I didn't. The bus station smelled like cheap coffee and tired people. I found a window seat near the back, pulled my hoodie tighter, and put in my earbuds. That's when he sat down next to me. He didn't ask, he didn't smile, he just sat. A man in his 30s, maybe early 40s, clean-shaven but somehow scruffy, like something was just off. He had those eyes, dead, emotionless, as if they were just painted on, like no one was home behind them.
You going far?
He asked. I shrugged.
Seattle.
He nodded.
I used to live up there.
I wanted to put my earbuds back in, to shut the conversation down, but something about him froze me in place. I tried to tell myself I was just being paranoid. After all, he was just a stranger on a bus. But I didn't know I had just met Israel Keys. He kept talking, told me about Alaska, how he missed the cold, how he liked the silence there. He had a way of speaking like he was trying not to give himself away, but couldn't help it. His voice was level, never rising, never emotional, just this eerie, steady tone like a machine.
You ever been to Anchorage?
No.
It's the last place some people see.
I gave a weak laugh, thinking it was some kind of dark joke. But he didn't laugh. He just stared out the window like he could already see something I couldn't. He talked about the cold, how Alaska was a different kind of lonely. I smiled politely, said as little as I could, but I noticed things. How he kept glancing at my phone, how his hands were too still, how his backpack never left his lap. The first stop was in Moses Lake. We both got off to stretch our legs. I called my sister to let her know we were running late. She joked about bringing wine and horror movies. I wish I had told her I loved her. When we got back on the bus, he followed me again. Sat in the same seat, too close. I could smell the faint scent of gasoline and metal on him. My gut screamed at me, but I didn't move. I didn't want to seem rude. About 2 hours outside Seattle, he leaned over and whispered,
I like quiet people. They're easier.
I laughed nervously.
Easier for what?
He smiled, not with his mouth, just his eyes.
Just easier.
That's when I made the mistake of falling asleep. I woke up not knowing how long I'd been out. The bus was no longer moving. I was groggy, cold, and terrified. I wasn't in my seat anymore. I was in the back of a van. My wrists were bound. My mouth was taped. Panic surged like electricity. The floor was metal. There was a faint humming sound, maybe the engine. It was pitch black except for a sliver of light that slipped in from a gap in the rear door. I thrashed and whimpered, trying to get free, but I could barely move. He opened the door after what felt like hours.
You sleep too deep,
he said, dragging me out into the freezing night. The place was remote, trees, dirt roads, and a cold sky above. There was a small wooden cabin, no lights, just silence. He carried me inside like I weighed nothing. The room was small, like a shed or a basement. One single bulb dangled from the ceiling, swaying slightly. It cast long, trembling shadows across the walls. He was sitting across from me, sharpening a knife. Calm, like he'd done it 1,000 times.
You were too polite. That's why I chose you.
I tried to scream, but the tape held firm. My heart felt like it would beat out of my chest. He told me things, Stories of others, Samantha, Bill, Lorraine. He said their names like reading a grocery list.
Samantha was the hardest. She fought, but not enough.
He took out a photo and showed it to me. A girl with dark hair, braces, and bright eyes.
She worked at a coffee stand. I waited. I planned. I was ready, just like I was with you.
He stood, walked to a dark corner, pulled out a tarp, then a shovel, then duct tape, then a saw. This was it. I fought, with everything, kicked, screamed through the gag, slammed my head against the floor. Something cracked. Pain exploded behind my eyes. I don't remember blacking out. I just remember silence, an overwhelming, crushing silence. When I came to, the bulb above me was still swinging. My hands were free. The door was open. He was gone. I stumbled outside, barefoot and trembling. There was no one, just snow, trees, and the dark. In the dirt, scratched with a knife, were 5 words. Next time you won't wake. I ran, for hours maybe, until I found a road, until a truck driver pulled over and called the police. They questioned me for days, but I had no answers, no location, no real memory of the route. They never caught him, not for me, but a year later, they got him. Israel Keys, suicide in his cell, left behind maps, drawings, hidden kill kits buried across the country. They found photos of victims, notes, coordinates, Samantha Koenig, Bill and Lorraine Courier, others still unknown. I survived, but I never escaped. He told them he chose victims at random, that he could go years without killing, that he had kill kits buried in multiple states, that he used rental cars and paid cash, never leaving a trail. He was a ghost, until he wasn't, and when I close my eyes, I still see his, dead, empty, waiting.